Yesterday we brought you the video on the World Deadlift Championships. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the World Open, which is taking place on the 14th of August. So less than 2 weeks away now. Another huge opportunity for these guys to firstly qualify for World's Strongest Man next year and showcase how good these guys are and how good the Giants Live one-day shows are.
So I've been very gently messaging Colin Bryce to try and find out a final lineup, because while it is on the website, we do know it's out of date because it still has Luke Richardson and Terry Hollands as competing in this show. He has sent me a lineup. I don't want to say it's tentative because this is the lineup, but obviously we cannot account yet for any potential travel
There's going to be a couple
issues.
of changes. I spoke to Payman, for instance.
Okay,
I spoke to Payman and he's looking at, he thinks he's got a 70% chance of getting here.
Yeah.
So horrible position for athletes to be in when they don't know for sure. But the likelihood is that most of these guys are going to be competing. But it's an awesome list of athletes for the deadlift and for the full competition. And a number of the big names that are coming, or you'd think are coming for the deadlift, are actually competing in the full show, which is really exciting. So the three athletes just turning up for the deadlift, we've got Payman Mahedapur from Iran, Nedzmin Ambeskovic from Bosnia, and then Askukaru from Estonia. So those three will just be taking part in the Deadlift World Championships. Then we have
Pavlo Nekonechny from Ukraine, Ivan Makarov from Russia, Gavin Bilton from Wales, the current World's Strongest Man, Tom Stockman from Scotland, Evan Singleton from the USA, Mikhail Shivlikov from Russia, Adam Bishop from England, Alexei Novikov from Ukraine, Gabriel Pena from the USA, and finally Rauno Heinle from Estonia.
So this is a really exciting list of athletes and a very different looking list of athletes for a Giants Live show. And I've got to say, I'm very excited to see Pavlo and Ivan both doing the full show. Because we get a lot of these guys that come over or they specialise in certain lifts and they come and just focus on the one lift. I'm really pleased to see both these guys taking part in the full show.
Should we run through the events?
Yes, let's go through the events.
So obviously the first event is the max deadlift. Now this is where the guests, the deadlifting guests, will also compete. But they will then step aside and everyone else will carry their points through to the rest of the competition. So there is, they do a full podium for the Deadlift World Championship.
They do a full podium, but they also take the points. So say, for instance, someone who's just there for the deadlift wins.
Yeah. But
say Adam Bishop, who's competing in the whole show, and he comes third, for instance, on the deadlift, he would actually win the deadlift for the Strongman show.
Say Pavlo wins the deadlift and he's doing the full show.
Yeah.
Then
he's going to get maximum points.
The most points in.
But
if he's only doing the deadlift,
say the next person doing the full show is in fourth place.
Yeah.
They still get the second amount of points.
It's actually much simpler than we're making it sound.
It's Liz's fault. Just very quickly regarding the deadlift, I've got an idea of what the jumps are going to be.
Go on then, please tell us. You just told me that and you still haven't shared it.
So they're going to be opening on 400 kilos.
Okay, yeah.
These are subject to change, but these are kind of what I've been told. And I think they do sound about right. Thinking back of World Deadlift Championships that I've competed in and looking at the progress that we're seeing. So we've got 400 kilos as the opener, 425 as the next lift. Then they're going to go straight to 1,000 pounds, which is 455 kilos.
Oh, damn, that's a jump.
That is a jump.
That's going to leave, that's going to leave a lot of the guys who are doing the full show on tied points going in, isn't it? Because 425 to 455 is a massive jump.
Massive. It really is. I mean, I've said this before. I said it in our deadlift video and I'll say it again here. I believe we could see the most amount of 1,000-pound pulls we have ever seen in a contest at this show. Next up, after the 1,000 pounds, looking at 475. Now, 475 for me, that's monstrous. I don't believe anyone can go 1,000 pounds, 475, 505. No. I think if anyone wants to have a crack at that 505...
They have to skip 475 and go from 455?
Honestly, yeah. You kind of do.
An opener, comfortable opener, 455, 505.
Yeah.
Is the next one 505?
It will be 505. Okay. I mean...
That's not a lot of options.
It's not a lot of options.
It's big jumps.
It is big jumps, and you're going to be left with guys tied on points, which is the key factor here. And this sometimes can favour people that you know, if you can really push yourself, and you're slightly lower deadlifter, but you can push yourself to get that lower. Say you can push yourself to get the 425.
Yeah.
And normally you're sort of around a
440.
Or 430 even. You know, if you can get that 425, it's a big jump for those better deadlifters to have to lift.
Yeah.
To get extra points on them.
Yeah.
So it could favour someone like an Evan Singleton. You know, Evan, not regarded as the best deadlifter in the world. He's a good deadlifter, so don't come at me again. But
But
compared to some of the guys that are in this show,
yeah.
you know, but if he can get that 425, which is possible,
Big news.
he's going to tie with a lot of guys that would hopefully be looking at the 1,000 pounds that will fail the 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But we've spoken a lot about the deadlift. Let's move on to the next events. Starting with the Viking Press. Nice to see this back at Giants Live.
I like the Viking Press, and they have quite a cool setup at Giants Live as well with the barrels, don't they?
They either have barrels. Sometimes they've had like a not a truck, but like a
quad bike.
Yeah, like a quad bike.
There you go.
There we go. It's a hot day, you know. I'm struggling. So Viking Press with these kind of guys that are competing.
Viking Press is one of my favourite overheads.
I like the Viking Press.
Yeah.
Now, do not double dip, guys. You know all the issues you're going to get if you double dip.
Lotsie, why are you going there, please?
It's a shame Bibby's pulled out of this one.
Yeah.
I think be interesting to see what he could do on a Viking Press. It often favours the guys that are good at using a lot of leg drive.
You were always very good at Viking Press.
Viking Press, yeah, it just kind of worked well for me. I could get a lot of leg power into it, get the bar high enough so then my triceps could just kind of kick in. I think of someone like Evan could be really good on this. Tom Stockman, his pressing is improving all the time. Gav Bilton, he's kind of shown some good pressing recently.
For a sort of noob, does being much taller, is that detrimental to the Viking Press? Because you've got to get under it and...
The pickup is harder.
Yeah.
Technically, it depends on the pivot point of the machine.
And the angle and how far forward you can push.
So every Viking press is different.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a leg press. Every leg press is different in the gym. So when someone comes and tells you what they can leg press, it doesn't always correspond to a different leg press. And I've seen this with Viking press before. But obviously, all in the same show, all using the same kit, the strongest pressers are going to win. Looking at Pavlo, this guy just looks powerful.
He does. He looks the part, doesn't he?
I mean, Eddie Hall looked powerful, and Eddie was awesome at a Viking press. He's got that kind of thick muscularity to him. He looks big and strong and powerful. And Jesus Christ, I can't wait to see him compete and see if this guy can actually deliver in a strongman show. He's already delivered in powerlifting and the gym lifts and stuff like that.
What a show to step into as well, one of the Giants Live one day, because they batter you, don't they? They're seriously
that could be an interesting factor. Can he cope with the pace of a Giants Live show? This is going to catch a few people out. But I've got to say, he looks like a well-trained athlete. He's technically very good. He is massive. He's only a young man.
I know.
He's massive. I know you're happy to see Shivlikov competing.
Who isn't happy to see Shivlikov?
Shiv is a great presser.
Yes.
So,
yes, he is.
You know, I'm quite excited to see a different overhead. I mean, we're so used to log. Axel's kind of come back in. We don't see Viking press so often. No. So something a bit different.
As is the next event. Wow, it's not that different. But it's a farmer's walk into a chain drag. That chain drag is hard, isn't it? I mean, obviously I haven't done it myself.
The chain drag is a weird one. Surface dictates how hard the chain drag is.
Now, you think there'd be quite a nice surface inside this arena?
It probably will be.
Yeah.
You know, I think it'll move quite easily.
I think it would be good for Tom.
Tom is built for drags.
But Pavlo should be too.
He's got the weight behind him.
He's got the height.
And I think Tom's improvement on things like farmers is going to help him.
Yeah.
We saw that at World's Strongest Man. The frame's improved a lot. His grip's improved.
Pavlo should have good grip. He's come from powerlifting.
Yes, yeah. Again, it's another hard show to predict. I think, again, Evan Singleton is going to be good. I personally think Evan's going to do very well at this show.
Yeah.
He looked good at the Giants Live at the Royal Albert Hall. He's been staying over.
Yes.
He's been able to train on the equipment. Whatever you say about anything, if you can train on the equipment, it makes a big difference. I think he's going to be hard to beat. I think he's going to be good enough at everything.
Yeah, I think so.
His stone, I mean, just very quickly, we'll go through the last two events. Front hold.
Bloody forward hold. Everyone's favourite events.
I don't mind it.
One of the purest tests of strength.
So it's a 30 kilo hammer. You've got to hold it out in front of you for as long as possible. Cheat as much as you can. Don't put it down until the referee says down. Until that referee tells you it's down, it's still up. That's all you've got to think in your head.
Even when it's like this.
Yeah. And the last event, obviously the Atlas Stones. Traditional strongman event. I know all you guys love the Atlas Stones. I love the Atlas Stones too. I just sometimes would like to see something different.
Yeah.
Particularly to finish a show, but I get it. I know how iconic the Stones are, and you know, we've used the same set now, so there's records that can be broken, and you know, that's always good. But I'm so excited that we've got so many different events in this show.
Yeah.
I think let's do an event without Atlas Stones. See how that kind of throws things off for
Blow
people.
everyone's minds.
But obviously we've got world record holder in the Stones, Tom Stockman.
And I'd like to see how some of these guys who we're not used to seeing, like Pavlo, do on Stones also.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really another tough battle, similar to the show at the Royal Albert Hall. Yeah. It's a hard one to predict.
Yeah, definitely. But let's do it anyway.
Are we predicting on this video or a different one?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just go throw caution to the wind, I'll say.
So Liz and Loz's predictions for the World Open. Oh.
Mine is heavily dependent on Tom Stockman's hamstring. If I could get in there and have a little look. Because I think this is a great set of events for Tom. I do. There's no Hercules hold. He's got the Stones. He's got a really strong deadlift now. Yeah, he's, you know...
I'm interested to see what Tom can pull and seeing if he's coming in shape to pull a big number.
Yeah.
Obviously not having that... He's not going to have been able to train properly on the deadlift.
No.
Or certainly not to the level he would have liked coming in with the hamstring issue. So I'm not convinced we see a PB on the deadlift from Tom on this, which... No. You know, you've got to remember with Tom, he's gone and won World's Strongest Man. Then you've got all the media attention of winning World's Strongest Man. Mm-hmm. I don't believe he's in his best shape right now.
No.
And this is not a knock at Tom, by the way, okay? This is just reality, how things work. Literally, he put everything into winning World's Strongest Man. His training for that was spot on. That was him peaking. He's come back from World's Strongest Man. He's wanted everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing various different TV things every week. He's in different magazines, talking to different people. It's hard to get the training in.
Yeah.
He's got appearances for sponsors. He's doing every single comp that there is because all promoters want him there.
Yeah.
He needs a little bit of a break, and he'll get that at some point to focus on winning Worlds again next year.
Yeah.
I personally don't think Tom wins this show.
No, I don't either. He wants to win Europe's Strongest Man, which is literally just a few weeks away, and he needs to focus on that and really use this as a training session.
That's exactly what you'll see some of the guys doing. You know, some of the ones that have other shows coming up, this will be a stepping stone to that. For others, this is everything.
Yeah.
This is the peak.
I think two of the hungriest, if you like, athletes that we'll see is Novikov, because Novikov is always wants to win. And Evan.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And I think on this occasion, the events slightly favour Evan. So and we saw how they were neck and neck at
they were close
at the Strongman Classic going into the Stones. Evan's got the slight advantage of training on the kit. I think Evan wins, and I think Novikov comes second, and then Bish or Tom third.
See, I think Bish can do really well with this.
I do too, but
I think Bish is an incredible deadlifter.
Yeah,
his deadlift that he posted up this week. 427.5 kilos.
Yeah.
It looked absolutely brilliant.
Do you think he's got 455 in him?
Yes.
Okay.
I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I think he's somewhere between the 455 and 470 mark. Mm-hmm. Can he pull 475?
I don't think he should.
That's a big ask. I think he goes there, focuses on the PB, which for him would be the 455. Yeah. I think that will score him huge points. Yeah. I don't see Novikov or Evan getting 455. No, I don't either. So it gets him the points over them. Viking Press is probably one of the most favourable overhead events for him.
Yes.
I think he can get more out of a Viking Press than he can, say, an Axel or a log. He's extremely good at things like farmers into drags.
What's his drag like?
Very good. When he podiumed in Manchester last time, there was a drag in there and he did really well. He's a great stone lifter. Front hold, he's just going to have to battle on as hard as he can. But I think Bish has a genuine chance at this show. And then I agree with yourself. I think Novikov and Evan Singleton.
So give me an order, please. I want some sort of commitment from you. Not too much to ask from my husband.
Do you know what? because he is very often overlooked, and I want to give him some support for this show. And I do think with these events he can do very well. I'm going to go with Bish. I think Bish is going to take his, a big title this weekend. I agree with you. I think Evan Singleton edges out Novikov with these events. And if he comes in shape, never count out Tom Stockman.
No, absolutely not.
And I've got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing the likes of Pavlo, even seeing how they do.
I think they could do.
I think they could win. There's, they could genuinely be that good. The issue for me is, have they focused solely on the deadlift, or are they focusing on the whole show?
Yeah.
If someone like Pavlo is here to break that deadlift world record, I think mentally you need to focus on that deadlift.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, the rest of the show. I mean, if he does pull 505, which there's a possibility.
Yeah.
What energy do you have left after that? We've seen what it's done to some of the best strongmen on the planet.
Well, Eddie didn't go on to do. Obviously, it was never planned that he would, but he obviously didn't go on to do the rest of the competition.
It was when they originally started doing the deadlifting records at these shows, and it wasn't a separate thing back then. It was always a part of the full show.
Yeah.
But guys were pushing themselves to do such extreme numbers that they had nothing left.
I think it was 2015, Europe's Strongest Man. The guys who ended up doing the best in competition were the worst deadlifters because they had that much more left, and the deadlifters all fell apart, didn't they? Yeah.
When you go into those extremes, it taxes the central nervous system so much. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be a hell of a show. Let us know who you guys think is going to win, be top 3, whatever it might be. Who's going to win the deadlift? I'm not convinced we're going to see a deadlift world record, but I do think we have the potential to see the most ever 1,000-pound deadlifts in a competition, which I'm looking forward to seeing, because I remember doing a show where literally everyone at the show was capable of a 400-kilo deadlift, and that was unheard of. And we're just seeing the standard rise and rise and rise each year. Maybe not the very, very the record levels.
No.
But the amount of other people doing these ridiculous numbers now is just getting bigger and bigger. It's going to be a great show. Liz, where can people watch?
So people can either subscribe to officialstrongman.com, or they can go onto the Giants Live Facebook page, and under events there, they'll be able to sign up and watch it live on Facebook.
And if you guys are coming to the show, come and see me and my auntie.
How? Oh my goodness.
Me and my hoe.
What? Me and a dead man.
And if you are coming to the show, we will be there. We look forward to meeting everyone. It's going to be an awesome event. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Did I do that right?
There's a weekend in, but we'll take it.
While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.